Hi, everyone. Welcome to our opening of the daily script reads. We have a wonderful script today called Divided by Lewis Johnson. And after we finish reading, there'll be a time for you to, there'll be a Q&A. The Q&A, I believe there's a Q&A portion on the website, not the website, on the Zoom, or there's a chat. You could also put it in the chat, whatever questions you have. So get those ready. And now we will be starting, and each of the actors will introduce themselves and their character.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dashaun Knight. I'll be playing the role of John Von Rogue. He's a freedom fighter. He loves life, and he loves Layla even more. I'm biracial, and I'm in my late 20s.
Hey everyone, I am Heather Gibson and I am playing the role of Layla Isvanovich. I am John's longtime fiance, drop dead gorgeous. I am biracial and I am in my 20s.
Hi, everyone. My name's Naheem Garcia. I'll be playing A. Lincoln Breckinridge, president of the Confederation of Conservative States. And he is a know-it-all, white, late 60s.
Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Powell. I'll be portraying William Walter Williams, a WCCN newsman and an infamous blowhard. I'm white and in my late 50s.
Hi, everybody. I'm Carmen Fields. I will be portraying reporter number one, who's an investigative reporter for Worldwide News. I'm white and in my early 30s.
You can do your second one.
I'm also portraying reporter number three, a freelance reporter who has a debilitating gambling addiction. I'm white and in my early 30s.
Hi, I'm Andrea Lyman. I'll be the narrator, and I'm also playing reporter number two, an investigative reporter for Fast Fake News. And I am white and in my mid 80s. With that, we will start. Divided. The election of the worst president in the history of American politics has culminated in a second civil war, a war that would go down in history as the bloodiest confrontation ever fought on U.S. soil. In an attempt to end the fighting, a plan is devised. The nation would be divided into racial sectors, giving each race an equal share of the land. The country's biracial citizens, now considered threats to national security, are rounded up and interned on a 500 square mile sliver of land in the center of the country called the Biracial District, aka BRD. After years of peace, a dispute over the rights to the BRD is about to shatter the calm. John Van Rogue and Layla Ipsanovich are biracial sweethearts hopelessly caught in the middle. Divided could be a war story, but it's not. Nor is it a story about race. Divided is the story of a man and a woman and how their love prevailed even in the worst of times. Above all, it's an homage to John and Layla. May they rest in peace.
Preamble. Many will come in my name saying, I am he, and will mislead many. And when you hear of wars and rumors of wars, do not be alarmed. This must take place, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise up against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be earthquakes in various places. There will also be famines. These things are merely the beginning of birth pangs. Mark 13th chapter, 6 to 8 verses.
Interior. Layla's apartment, the Biracial District, 2050, afternoon. It's Christmas time, 2050, And we're in the darkened living dining room of Layla Ipsanovich's tiny apartment in Old St. Louis, the capital of the biracial district. The light from the television is the only illumination in the room. In the darkness, we see Layla pacing frantically. She stops. She creeps over to the window. She pulls back a curtain of just a sliver of sunlight ekes through. As Layla peeps through the slit in the curtain, we hear somebody pounding on the door. Layla, startled, nearly jumps out of her skin. She turns and stares at the door for a few seconds before slithering over to it. She peeps out the door's peephole. She quickly unlocks the door's 4 deadbolt locks. Layla grabs her boyfriend, Jon von Rogue, by his arm and yanks him inside the house. She quickly relocks the deadbolts. She hugs Jon tightly.
You never get here.
That was crazy. Fucking soldiers everywhere. What the hell's going on out there?
Haven't you been watching the news?
I was at work. How could I?
Well, I think you might want to see this.
See what?
Layla points at the television. We see bold red breaking news banner on the TV screen.
Oh.
Just wait, it'll be back on. Hell, it's been on all morning.
What's been on all morning?
The president! I think we're going to war.
Again?
I think he's serious this time. Look!
We zoom in on the television screen where we see WCCN evening newscaster William Walter Williams IV standing on the White House South Lawn.
Folks, I'm coming to you live from the South Lawn where, in just a few minutes, the president is expected to address the nation.
What time do you have to be back? Jon?
I want to hear this.
Jon and Layla, sitting only inches apart, move closer to the edge of the sofa as they anxiously await the breaking news. Exterior, White House South Lawn, winter 2050 afternoon. We're on the White House South Lawn where we find WCCN evening newscaster William Walter Williams IV standing in the middle of a throng of news correspondents.
Folks, the president is about to touch down.
The reporters stare as the president's helicopter and several fighter jets hover above the South Lawn. The chopper lands as the president of the Confederation of Conservative States, A. Lincoln Breckinridge, stumbles out. With his trusty aide at his side, the extremely disheveled octogenarian makes his way to the podium that stands at the front of the crowd. He taps the podium's microphone with his forefinger.
Hello? Hello? Can everyone hear me?
President Breckinridge taps the microphone a couple of times with his forefinger. The mic makes a very loud buzzing sound.
Folks, I'm going to get right to it. As most of you already know, at the height of the 4-year war, Congress, in effort to end the bloodshed, decided to divide the former United States along racial lines.
Several reporters raise their hands. Reporter 1 steps towards the podium.
Mr. President.
Can't you see I'm trying to talk?
I'm sorry, sir.
Thank you. What I was trying to say before I was so rudely interrupted was Article 14 of the Order of the Separation set aside an area of land for the people of biracial origin to establish their own homeland.
Mr. President, sir, are you referring to the BRD?
Yes. The biracial district, or the BRD, was to be governed by the Confederation of Conservative States for the first 10 years after its inception, upon which time control was to be transferred to the head of the Melanated People's Republic.
Sir, are you saying you're not going to honor the treaty?
Get him out of here! Asking stupid questions like that. Get him out of here now.
Secret Service agents swarm reporter number 2. The agents throw the reporter to the ground and handcuff him. With one agent holding him in a headlock, the agents drag reporter number 2 toward the White House.
Stupid motherfucker. Fucking reporters. I should have just punched him in the mouth.
The president, grinning, turns to the reporters. He points at reporter number 3.
You have a question?
Sir, in an interview for the BBC News, the head of the NPR said that if the land wasn't handed over as per the agreement...
We hear the sound of gunfire. Several Secret Service men converge on the president, forcing him to the ground. A near stampede ensues as panic-stricken reporters try to escape the gunfire. Interior, Layla's apartment, the biracial district, winter 2050 day. Jon and Layla sit on the sofa in Layla's living dining room, their heads in their hands. Layla rises. She turns off the television.
Oh my God. Can you believe it? They just shot the president. What the hell, Jon? A man just got shot and you're laughing?
I thought I knew to get shot.
Are you nuts? We just saw it live on TV.
It was a stunt.
A stunt, but we just saw it on live TV.
No, we saw what looked like him getting shot. Did you see how quick they covered him up? You never saw him get hit. You never saw any blood, none.
But...
Remember the bomb in the White House bathroom?
There was a bomb in the White House? Really? When?
Don't you remember? Right before the last election, Brookins came on Fox Hunt and said, bomb was found in the White House bathroom.
Now I remember. They talked about it on The Look, but it wasn't a bomb. It was a roll of toilet paper somebody set on fire in one of the White House bathrooms.
Yeah. And they blamed a Chinese spy.
I thought the ladies on the show were going to fall out of their chairs laughing about it.
You know why he did it, don't you?
He's crazy. That's why he did it.
Yeah, crazy, like a fox.
But why would the president fake his own death? It makes no sense.
Didn't you hear they found oil up in the regions? He wants it.
Why? Nobody uses oil anymore.
The military still uses it. And if we're gonna go to war, they're gonna need it. You know, they're trying to get ready for what's happening, right?
No, but I mean, I'm sure you're going to tell me.
Next week on the television, I'm swearing the NPR tried to kill him. And just like that, they fake bomb scare and mark my words. Mark my words, I'm telling you.
Do you really think it's a scam?
Oh, absolutely.
I hope you're right.
I know I'm right.
You always are. All I can say is, if a war does start, we can kiss our wedding goodbye.
My ass, we already put a deposit down in that hall. Shit, it's almost 2 o'clock.
Will you get in trouble for being late coming back? Where you going?
Rick.
Why?
I want to see if my boss is looking for me.
How is Ricky? I haven't heard you talk about him in a while.
He's fine. I know him and Sandra are getting married.
Oh, really? Oh. God bless him.
Yep.
Tell him I said hi.
I would if he answered the damn phone.
Jon shoves his cell phone in his pocket. He rises, turns to Layla.
Oh, speaking of Ricky and Sandra, they invite us to dinner next week.
Not on your life.
What? I thought you liked hanging with Ricky and Sandra.
I really like Sandra, but Ricky,
What's wrong with Ricky?
He's fine when he's sober, but when he starts drinking, mm-mm. A little obnoxious? Are you kidding me? You remember the last cookout they had?
When you keep the barbecue and all food on the grill.
John, it's not funny. In fact, it's kind of sad.
Yeah, it is. I gotta run.
Jon heads towards the door.
I love you.
I love you too.
Jon dashes out the door. Exterior downtown Old St. Louis, winter 2050 night. Panicked citizens, their homes in ruins, run for cover as F-16s drop bombs on Old St. Louis. The once regal Gateway Arch is now a glistening hunk of burning metal propped along the banks of the mighty Mississippi, its muddy petrol-filled waters blazing out of control. Out of a smoldering, semi-demolished tenement, a half-naked woman runs, her arms flailing wildly, her once curly hair engulfed in flames. Interior bedroom of Layla's apartment, the BRD, winter 2050, early morning. Jon and Layla are asleep in their tiny trundle bed. Layla begins thrashing wildly. Jon grabs her arms and shakes her.
Layla, wake up. Layla, wake up.
Why'd you wake me up?
You're doing it again.
Really? Was I loud?
Not as loud as last time.
I'm sorry, honey.
Layla sits on the side of the bed, her head in her hands.
I don't know why I keep having these dreams.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
I don't know why I keep having these dreams.
Maybe you gotta stop having them. Stop watching the news so much.
What's watching the news got to do with it?
Because all they talk about is war and what the nightmares. And what are your nightmares about? The war? That's what.
Jon gets out of bed. He takes a pair of pants from a pile that's on the floor near the bed, puts the pants on, takes a shirt from the pile, starts putting it on.
You wanna... Jon,
I don't have time. I'm opening today. I told Ricky I'd be there early.
but you normally don't open till 8.
I want to be there a little early. Make sure everything's cleaned up for the Shinners holiday breakfast this morning.
How does it start?
At 9.
But honey, it's only 6 o'clock.
Jon starts putting on his shirt. Layla tugs at his pant leg. Jon pulls away from her.
Honey, please, I gotta go.
Fine, go to work.
Jon walks over to the window. He raises it. Layla stares at him as he begins climbing out.
What the hell are you doing?
Going to work. What does it look like I'm doing?
And why, may I ask, are you going out of the window?
Water's up and I don't want her to see me.
And why not?
It's too early in the morning to listen to the bullshit. That's why. That's why.
Whatever.
Hey, been meaning to ask you. Your friend's still making that cake, right?
I talked to her last week and she said she was, so I guess she still is.
Good. I'll see you when I'm off.
I thought you were going back to your place.
I plan on coming over. That's okay.
It's fine. Hey, would you mind stopping by CVS on your way and picking up 2 composition books?
Composition books for what?
Don't you remember we said last night that we'd each get a composition book, and if a war does start and we get separated.
But Layla.
But oh, would you please let me finish? We said we write everything down and compare what we wrote when the war is over. You don't remember that, do you?
thought you were kidding.
No, stupid, I wasn't kidding.
But
Don't you understand? We'll have kids.
Layla, honey, by the time they lift the ban, if they lift the ban, we'll be too freaking old to even think about having kids.
Evidently, you haven't been watching the news because the president of the NPR has already said that when they take over in January, he's lifting the ban.
And you truly believe him?
Yeah. He said the ban is inhumane and that it needs to go.
And everything down.
Damn it. Last night you said you would.
But Layla. Fine, I'll stop.
Thank you.
Jon starts climbing out the window.
Excuse me. Aren't you forgetting something?
Jon turns to Layla. He kisses her cheek.
I love you.
I love you too.
The end. Yay. I'd like to welcome back all the actors and our writer. Yay.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Thanks so much for sharing your vision with us, Lou. So what was the inspiration for writing this particular piece?
I started it a long time ago. It was a novel. I had written it as a novel, and I completed the novel, and I had a publisher who was considering it. Then they went out of business, so we're just sitting around doing nothing. So I got commissioned to a while back to convert a W.B. Du Bois play for stage. And when I converted that to the stage and it went well, I said, well, I'm going to take the Divided and make it a screenplay. So I started ripping pages out of it, and I turned it into this series, and, you know, I ended it in a couple festivals, and it's done pretty well. So I said, well, hey, what the hell? I'm going to keep writing it. So that's what it is.
Wow, glad you did.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know when I read it, I said, oh, this is sadly so realistic. It should be a total fantasy, but not so much. Look like we're on this road looking at South Africa. So, were there any surprises when you're hearing the reading, when you're hearing the actors do it, or any surprises in it? Like, oh, I hadn't thought of it that way, but the way this actor read it,
When I'm hearing it, because I'm a bundle of nerves anytime I have to do this Zoom stuff. When I'm hearing it, I'm so caught up in it that it just kind of goes in one ear and out the other. And it takes me a couple of days, and then I sit back and I hear it again. And so, hey, you know, maybe I should change that. But this sounded really good. So there's nothing. I'm not changing this. This is okay. It's worked. It's worked for me. Oh yeah.
Okay. It just sometimes when people hear it, it's like, oh, I thought of that as a man, but you know, that works as a woman, that kind of thing. And how do you cast your pieces when you cast on your own?
I don't audition. I put a call out, and if someone wants to do it, I let them do it. I don't care if they have acting experience. I don't care about any of that.
What if two people want the same part?
That's between them. I try to if I like both of them, I'll write the other one a part in. You know, I'm pretty flexible like that. But to me, it really has nothing to do with your. It's whether you have enthusiasm. If you want to play the part, I'll let you do it, because my work is pretty straightforward. It's kind of hard to fuck it up. So if I give it to you and you want to do it, I'll let you do it. If somebody wants to direct it, hey, go at it. I don't care if you never direct it or not. Doesn't matter to me. It matters to me if you enthusiastically, if you really like the piece and you want to do it, I know you'll do it justice. So that's just the way I, you know,
Mhm.
I don't take myself seriously. I'm just having fun, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we have a question from Ron Newman. He said, is this part of a longer work?
Oh yeah, the completed novel is like 400 pages.
Wow. Okay.
So, you know, I could go on like this for a couple seasons at least. I have at least a couple seasons worth of work that I can pull from it. And when I started writing this when I was still in Boston back in the 90s. And I was having a lot of I was having a lot of stuff with Harvard, and we was going through a lot of changes. And I was it, I just it was all racial. So this is how it started, and this is what it turned into. So you know,
Hmm. Okay. And do you have any plans or hopes? Where do you want to take this next? Like what?
I never know. I just look. I throw it out in the universe and see who catches it. Someone catches it, I'm good with it. But my plays are doing well, so you know, I'm just like I said, I'm just having fun.
And we have a question from Carmen Fields, who's actually a real reporter. She played a reporter, but she actually is worked as a real one too.
Well, this was eerily familiar to me, or resonated with me, because I'm a native of Tulsa, Oklahoma, which has been in the universe more recently in celebrating the centennial of the so-called massacre, where white hoodlums raided a successful Black community in Tulsa. And the rest, shall we say, is history. But when you started talking about the police shooting and dropping bombs, it all resonated with me from the Tulsa experience.
Mhm. Which I guess now they'll try to get out of the history books. You know how they're changing, like changing history.
when as you delve deeper into it, and they get Layla and John are put into separate camps, and the camps are. I did a lot of studying about the Japanese internment camps,
Mhm.
so I kind of patterned the camps after the Japanese internment camps. But as the story moves on, they're imprisoned in different camps. So for 400 pages, they're trying to get back. They're trying to break out and get back to each other. But while they're trying to get back to each other, the war is going on all around them. So I can throw in current events and throw this love story in there, you know. So it's something that will appeal to all the people, you know. I don't care what your race is. If you like love, if you're in love with love, you you'll be able to follow it. I think anyway. Yeah.
Mhm. Any of the actors have any comments or other audience members? No? Oh yeah, we have audience. I'm sorry, I see the thing. Ron Newman said, so you see this as the first episode of a TV series, not a movie?
Yeah, it's just this is the pilot up of a series. Oh yeah.
Mhm. And I see a
What
raised.
are
There we go.
what are your thoughts? I do find it very interesting that that John and Layla are biracial. Was there an intention? What was your intention of making them biracial? Is it because of the fact that being mixed race, being biracial, you don't belong to just one, so you can't just go in one line versus the other? What was your intention with making them biracial?
The reason I did it this way is because I have two biracial kids. And
Ah,
my son and I, we talked about it a lot because I saw what he went through when he was growing up and never really knowing where he fit in,
mhm.
and who was what, who was his allies, and who was the devil and who was the saints. So, in order for me to tell the story and remain neutral and not have it weighted to one side or the other, I stood in the middle and told the story. That way, both races are just as much at fault. And it wouldn't seem like I was siding with blacks or siding with whites. I just wanted to tell it the way I saw it. And the only way for me to tell it the way I saw it and to remain objective is to tell it this way. So uh, when I find myself getting too shaded into one side or getting too black or too white, I throw it at my daughter because she's a really good writer. I throw it at her And she said, "Oh, Dad, this is fucked up. You can't do this. You can't do this." You know, and they helped me screw it out. But that's why I did it. The only way to tell a story from a neutral aspect is to stand in the middle and watch. So that's what I did.
And we have a couple of questions. Alexandria J. Pearson says, this was extraordinary, everyone. Prophetic given the year of its origin, and thank you all. And then Anonymous says, what about all the other races? They're not just two races. So I guess they're just wondering.
In America, there are only two races. I don't care how you view it. We're in America. There's only two opposing races, black and white. Everything's in black and white. Even though the other races are here, the two races who are fighting amongst themselves are blacks and whites. So the main brawl is between blacks and whites. That's the way I see it, because I've been black all my life. I was born and raised in the South. When I moved to South Boston, I saw that it was no different here than it is there. No matter where you take racism, it's still the same. And I feel like to me, it was a black and white thing. And I wanted to keep it as such. But now, with Trump in, he's turned it into a black and white thing. So it is what it is. The thing about race and the reason why we can't solve this problem is because we don't want to look at it and confront it. We want to keep calling it something else. This is what it is.
Well, when you're saying black and white, are you saying that, like, for instance, if somebody were Cuban or Mexican, they'd either be black or white, and they're put in that group? Or are you saying they're not having an issue? Or if they're Asian, are you saying they're not having an issue at all? Or are you saying that they are either considered black or white?
I'm gonna put it in economic terms. Let's break it down in economic terms, because I was taught to look at everything in economic terms. When you write something, I don't care how creative you want to be, you have to look at your market share. You have to look at who your customers are and how you're gonna sell this product. Because when it comes down to it, it is a product. And our two major customer bases are blacks and whites. So that's also the way I'm selling it. Because my beef is not, it's like Ali said when he went to Vietnam. My beef is not with the red man or the yellow man, because they're not oppressing me. That's not what my beef is. My beef is with the people who are oppressing me. Mm-hmm. If that makes any sense. So I wrote it that way because the script is written to intentionally strike a nerve. That's what that's its major intent. If I had more experience with Native Americans and Asians, I would have included them. But this is written hands-on. This is more hands-on. I had to write what I knew about.
Got it.
This is what I know. Mm-hmm. This is what I've experienced. Jane and I have lived all over America. We've seen racism at its worst. So basically, a lot of the stuff in the 400 pages is ripped from our travels and what we've done.
And which, by the way, Edward L. DeMore asks, is the book available?
Yeah, the unpublished version. Anybody can read it. I mean, yeah, I have a copy of it. That's what I'm pulling the pages to write the pilot. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But like I said, I had a publisher who was interested, but when they went out of business, I said, look, it's too hard to try to get it. And my plays were getting done. So I said, well, I'll write a screenplay. And when I wrote the screenplay and started submitting it, people liked it. So I said, hey, let's do it.
So if somebody wanted the 400-page book, they'd have to contact you personally.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I want to say this was honestly an amazing script. I loved portraying Jon. Thank you so much for that opportunity. I guess my question is, I know you said, you talked about it a little bit, that you're not able to speak from other people's perspective, other races specifically. But since you said you are going to hope to make this into a series, do you think you're going to leave the opportunity for other races to enter the mix? Because I think that'd be honestly a great way to try to show more diversity. But again, this is your stuff. I thought that'd be kind of a cool way to spin it further down in the series, and then like really become like a whole, I hate to say this, but like a race war kind of situation.
This is my thought process. If I can sell it. If I can sell it, I'm not going to try to write the whole series by myself. I'm going to bring in a couple women and a couple people who have more, it'll be racially diverse. I get a couple of writers who, I know a few Native Americans out in the Midwest, and I got a few Native American friends. And I will put in, because in order for me to write this the way I want to write it, I need different perspectives. I need different people to read the pages and for them to translate it the way they see fit, and throw in their little cup of tea. Everybody will have a cup of tea in this one, because hey, it's America.
Well, we have at least 3 professional writers right on this panel. Heather Gibson, her script is going to be presented on Friday. Carmen Fields has written a book about her dad, Ernie Fields, and as a reporter had to do a lot of writing for that. Lisa Simmons has also written a screenplay and written some more things. So that's kind of cool that you have people that are writers right here. And just the RoxFilm Festival, you'll have a lot of people. And Garland Thompson says, great work, everyone. Congratulations. And thank you to the writer. And what do you hope audiences will take away from this story?
Pardon my French. What I want the audience to take from this is we have a fucking mess here. We really do. This is what we have. We have a mess in this country. And until we address this race problem, we're going to continue to have a mess. We have to talk about it where we have to talk about race where one person is not the victim and the other one is the victimizer. We just got to get in the ring and just punch it out. Just slug it out and say what you got to say. I don't believe in if I'm working with other writers, I don't believe in censoring the writers. I don't censor myself. Say what needs to be said and then move on from it. Just say what you gotta say and move the hell on. And that's basically the message I'm putting in Divided. This is what we have. Now if we do anything to fix it, hey. But the end result at the end of those 400 pages is not very good. But none of my work has happy endings. So the end of it is very bad. But leading up to the end is very good. But the end is very, very bad. So I'll leave it at that.
Okay. And Naheem?
Yeah, what I wanted, first of all, thank you. It was great. It was a fun read. This just reminds me of something that Teja Abuela wrote, Caucus, which was the United Segregated States of America, which is similar. Same thing, separation among the races. It was a live conference, so you might want to listen to that. It was pretty good. It was really a live podcast interviewing people that were really playing these roles. So it's right up there with the same thing you're writing about, and I think everybody's on the same page. So good job. I hope a lot of success. I hope it works out for you. And call a brother. I'll audition.
Oh yeah.
And when you think about what's going on now with all the separation stuff like that, they haven't addressed multiracial so much at this point because they're too much dividing everybody in the different things, and this or this or this or this. But at some point they'll have to do that too. I mean, they don't have to, but they will, just because they're awful, and so they'll start pointing people out. But right now they like a strict dividing line of who's who, you know, what you believe in, who you are, you know, all that kind of stuff. So at some point it will be that, you know, if you don't fit our box, we're gonna be mad about that, because right now you fit the box and then they throw that box over here and then this one. Let's see. Alexandria Pearson recently discovered blurb at makebooksblurb.com for self-publishing. So, and she also says, hi, Naheem, and can you repeat the podcast?
It's called, I had to find, hold on. It's called Caucus.
Oh, yes.
It's Caucus, the World in Legend. It's an interview. Teja Abodela wrote it. And I think if you go into Apple Podcasts, I think you could find it.
Yep,
I
definitely.
apologize, Teja, if you're listening. I apologize. I don't have to, but you triggered when I saw it. I said, this is similar to that piece. So
a lot of our friends are in that.
A lot of our friends are in
It's
that.
a pod, and it is like a piece where there's a war going on, and it's which race do you fit in?
Right, and it's interesting. He had the same kind of a president that was similar to the president that you were projecting, Lou. So yeah, everybody's on the same page about what's happening in the world. And then I think about Nostradamus, right? And you think about all his predictions and going, wow, where's it going to end? How's it going to end? You know? And now that we have a concern about a world war, right? We have a concern.
And they're not
now.
subtle. There's all these ways where they could have been a little bit more subtle about it, and so people wouldn't see it, but they're not subtle. They're like right out there. Like you're thinking, this is like what they're talking about is almost like apartheid South Africa. In case you didn't get that, then they like come right out and have Elon Musk and also have the folks saying, oh, see these poor people from South Africa, the white folks, we will let
the
them
white farmers.
They're not going to be considered refugees or immigrants or any of that kind of stuff. At the same time, you're pushing out all these other folks that are here. You're saying, no, but they can come here. And it's like if I were running the evil empire, I would at least take a breath so that people didn't notice, couldn't see right in the same day. The same day you said, get these people out who are brown, you said, let these people in who are white. Like,
well, you remember his interview, he said, you know, a lot of people in South Africa are getting killed and some of them were white. And I said, so if they were black, it would have been all right. I mean, it's just in your face.
But he's already said that.
Yeah, it's in your face. A lot of in your face. A lot
he
in your face.
Absolutely said that.
They don't have to hide no more.
When Jane and I lived in Southie, all our neighbors were Irish. I mean, off the boat Irish. And most of them were illegal. But you don't see any ICE troops down on East Broadway. There's no ICE troops on East First Street. But there are ICE agents on West Broadway, where the Haitians are down in Old Colony. And that's only 2 miles apart. They keep finding the Irishmen up behind the hub. You know, it's just it's selective imprisonment.
Yeah, they walked into a school that I was working with, the Root Babson, as a matter of fact. They walked into that school and they snatched up a couple of children, just snatching them up, pulling people out of cars, breaking windows and pulling people out of cars. I mean, it's scary. It's very scary. It's very Gestapo-ish.
My fear is this, because my son is married. My daughter-in-law is Mexican, and my granddaughter is a Hispanic Latina writer, and she's very outspoken. And I've told them to stop going down to Guadalajara, stop going across the border, because they go down a lot to visit my in-laws. But I told them to stop going because I'm afraid they're going to get caught across the border and they can't make it back. You know, and my son his mother's white and I'm black, and he's American citizen. But shit, I don't want to have to go down to Mexico to bail him out because he's been mistaken for a Hispanic dude. You know, it's just shit, this is crazy, man.
Wow. But getting back to the script, this is the pilot. Do you have the whole thing, like all of the episodes, or is this, you got this one and now you're going to be working on
No, I'm 3 episodes in, because as the events play out in real time, I'm
Mhm.
adding more to the book because as the war is going on in
Mhm.
Iran and they're dropping bombs, that gives me new material to work with. So I'm kind of writing it in real
I'm
time.
sorry, what bombs?
So your
Hold on.
screenplay is still a work in progress. It's not like
Yeah.
this is an excerpt from a full piece. This is just the
This,
start of it.
this episode is done. This episode 1 is done.
Right.
Episode 2 is done.
Oh, okay.
Episode 1 and 2 and half of 3 are done.
Okay.
So yeah, this is just the first half of the first episode.
Got it.
But
Oh, it's half of the first episode.
yeah, each
Oh.
episode they're hour episodes. So
Mhm.
each episode is 56 pages.
Okay.
So this is the first half of the first ep.
Okay. Wow. That's exciting. So is this your first time with Roxbury International Film Festival?
Yeah, this is the first time I've been with the film festival, but I remember when Lisa was started out back in '99 when they first got the whole thing going.
Yeah.
So
This is our 27th year.
yeah, yeah.
And I hope everybody is participating in all of the things today. We will have some, we'll have a couple of things. We have a bunch of films at Hibernian Hall. And then tonight we have the sold out dinner and a movie. They brought that back. They used to have it before, and it's where they'll show a movie and have a whole dinner at Haley House and a discussion afterwards. And that one's sold out. But don't you worry, because if you can't get tickets to that, at the MFA tonight, they are showing some films on sports films. So one's about baseball, and Lisa probably can tell more exactly what it's about. I can.
They're all at Hibernian Hall today.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh.
a film about the Negro Leagues, a film about urban farming. So that's going off at around 4:30. Great film. And then we have Gerald for Speak for the Trees, and someone from the Food Project, Ciara is coming to talk about urban farming and the importance of that. And then we're doing and then in the evening program at Hibernian Hall, it's the WNBA and Negro Leagues, and we have 2 of the Celtics admin folks, women from the WNBA women, coming to do the moderation and talk about that after the screening.
Heather and I have uncles who were part of the Negro Leagues. Yeah. So that was exciting. They have my one uncle has a lot of the materials and things like that, the outfits and all. So they were very much involved. So that's nice. Any other questions or comments? Let me see. Do we have? Oh, yes. Carol T says, good read, Lewis. Thank you for sharing your work. Much needed. That's great. Oh, yes. Well, I was going to say William. Doctor.
Yeah, just Doc. I thought it's a really wonderful love story, a great backdrop for a love story. And it's really prescient because there are love stories happening right today, and they're being affected by this type of environment that you portray in this. So I think it's wonderful. I'm wondering, are you thinking that it's a limited series, that it would resolve itself in 5 or 6 episodes? Or are you thinking hour in a television series, so it'd be multiple seasons?
The way I look at it is if I find a producer, I could go on with this forever. I have enough pages, and if I ripped in current events, I could go on with this forever. It could go on forever because I know where the ending is. I know what the ending is, so I could work up to the ending for the next 50 years.
Well, I hope you find, well, this is a good place to meet people and find out, a lot of people that have seen this. You never know who's a producer. You never know what somebody has done. Look at the one
From your mouth to
Naheem's
God's
on. That
ear.
became a podcast. That podcast can then become a series later. You never know.
I think it's the way it's set up, and a lot of it is dialogue, the book, because the book is written in a diary form, day to day in a diary form. So it would work as a podcast. It could be serialized easy. Every day is dated, and each day Jon and Layla write in their composition books. So I take the composition book that day, and I write a scene out of it. And sometimes the scene lasts for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, but it's written in diary form. So it makes it easier for me to transpose it into a screenplay. It's just like their voice is telling me what to do. I just sit down and type it out.
Well, I think it'll be going places. And with that, I want to thank everyone for participating. I want to thank our audience and our actors and writer.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate what you guys
incredible.
did. And Andrea, I'll see you again on Wednesday.
Yes. Lou did an entirely different thing on Wednesday, so don't expect more of the same.
No.
And tomorrow we have Linden Park. Each one of our scripts goes into an entirely different world, different actors. So with that,
Good luck, everybody.
Good luck. Thank you.
You too. Thank you.